Not surprisingly, Anchorage's 7th snowiest season on record also made for an active avalanche season. The winter of 2022-23 saw a tricky, wild, and unusual season for avalanches.
It's just because of how the snowpack setup was. We had a few different periods where we had big storms on top of weak snow, and those weak layers lasted a long time into the season. In some cases, they were still making big avalanches a month after they were buried.
Shower says that given all the snow and the conditions, recreators were both well prepared.
In terms of smart travel and safety gear and being ready if something goes wrong. I think the other thing that we noticed that was really encouraging to see is during these spells where it was really touchy and very scary out, we noticed that people were backing off of bigger terrain and traveling smarter.
And lucky.
We had a whole lot of really big human-triggered avalanches that in many cases involved people getting caught and carried, partially buried. We had some injuries, but we're really lucky and really happy that we didn't have any fatalities actually anywhere in the state of Alaska due to avalanches this winter so far.
Especially in two noteworthy instances that had forecasters and recreators on edge.
The single avalanche back in January that involved there were 15 people on a ridgeline when a massive avalanche was triggered. 2 skiers were carried. Everyone was okay. More recently, in the end of March, we had this string 2 weeks where there were around 20 avalanches triggered that were really big, like big enough to destroy a building if there had been a building in the runout zone. And this was a time when people were triggering avalanches remotely from up to a half mile away.
With 3 to 7 feet of snow still on the backcountry slopes, many will still be out recreating well into May, and as Shower cautiously reminds,
it's going to be really dangerous avalanche conditions as that snowpack heats up. Every year during that transition, we see big shed cycles, and this year it has the potential to be, a very noteworthy cycle.
Which also depends on the amount of rain, wind, and yes, even more wet snow. And again, here is that look at that final regular season forecast for Turnagain Pass, with a considerable risk of avalanches for Alpine north up to the tops of the mountains. From tree line to Alpine, a moderate risk, and then down toward the base. That's the best area to be if you're going to continue to recreate. And of course, they will continue to issue special updated advisory forecasts when conditions warrant as we head on in through the month of May. Stay tuned. We'll definitely pass along all that information to you here at Alaska's Weather Source. We continue to deal with moisture streaming on in. That's also going to help further complicate matters.